Hey, good morning. This is Shannon from Salvation Dye Arts in rural East Idaho. And this morning I was doing some reverse dyeing, and these were isolated. So I have areas that on the shirt that I want discharged and areas that I want to stay black. So I isolate the black area. This is the piece I am doing. So I tied it. I've got sinew right here and then just rubber bands the rest of the way down. It was a little long for my pot to sit down as far as I needed it to go for as much solution as I've got in here. Which is, quickly tell you, it's almost 200 degrees. I've turned my stove down to low because I don't really want it to boil, and if I just don't need it to. It goes fast even at like 180, so I'm kind of letting it go there for a minute. So tied this too long, so I pull it up with this rubber band. A lot of times if I have longer stuff, I will use, I don't know if this is in the shot, I wanted to get as close to the pot as I could, but still, so that made my area of camera smaller. Anyway, I use these big vases I get at Goodwill, and I'll just put it down and then I don't even have to hold it sometimes. You get the right piece in there and it's just the right height. This holds about a half a gallon, so if I just want to do a small batch, I know this fits a half a gallon, I can just stick it in and it's good to go. So this piece though, I'm going to submerge down just to this line of sinew. This is the area that I want left black. I put a grocery sack around it and then just done a quick 3-4 loops around with sinew, pulled it tight, and put a rubber band just so this isn't flopping around everywhere. And this is ready. I used this earlier today, so it's got some yuck in it. I think that it gets like these weird globules, white globs of stuff that roll around in there. I don't know if it's a chemical reaction. I kind of think that because it kind of leaves a waxy film in there, I think it's from the sinew personally, or the breakdown of the rubber bands in the solution. I don't know. So my water is about 180. My solution is 180. It takes a minute to get this water starting to saturate into the fabric, so it wants to float. So I have to hold it for just a couple minutes. And I will just clip it here with these handy clips I have that I got from the dollar store. And I can see bubbles starting to come up, so that means the solution is starting to saturate into the t-shirt. And I'm just going to leave this. It's 8:51. I'm going to keep talking and tell you a couple other things while this is going. I've got 20 minutes on my little thing. I hope it doesn't take that long because I go over every single time. This is actually round 2 of video today because my cat, who usually stays elusive, decided she wanted to be a video star today. So in the meantime, I have a bucket of cold water. My sink is a little farther than I like to drag those out of the pot with, so I just set my water close to the stove, pull my pot over, throw my items as I do them. If I'm doing this outside, which I usually try to do, but today it's early so it's still cool, my windows are open, I have a great cross breeze through my kitchen, so I don't worry about it. The smell does not bother me. I know it bothers some people. Like, literally does not bother me at all. So, yeah. So the water's here. Dunk it in here when it gets to where it's done. I'll pull this out so you can see. It's only been a minute and it's already getting tan. I use Kirkland brand t-shirts. They're technically undershirts, which I know are like bad news for tie-dye, just because they are cut differently and they have a tendency to twist. But I have been using these for like a year now, and I have never had a problem. They are soft and thick, and they are longer than a normal t-shirt. Even a regular t-shirt, they're longer. They're just so nice. My husband has a whole set of 6 of reverse dyed t-shirts from them, and he loves them. I did also want to talk to you a minute while this is still going. It's been a couple minutes now, and it's still getting lighter. I mix my solution 1 gallon to 1 package of RIT color remover. That's just me personally. All this is just what I do. Just in my experience, in my experiments that I've been doing over the last, gosh, probably 6 weeks, 2 months now. Like seriously, I'm experimenting 2 or 3, 4 times a week with RIT over the last couple months, and I've completely wiped out Walmart almost every time I go. I'm going to move this down just a little more because it's not quite hitting where that sinew line is, and I really do want it to have some, I don't even know what you call it. They look like flames to me, so where that ends, it will still continue to flame through up past the sinew. You still should have a black line, but that discharge will continue into where the black is, and I am fine with that. I think it adds to it, and it's lovely. Anyway, so I was doing some shirts last week, and rookie mistake, I don't even know what I was thinking, but I had my pot going, and it did have a little bit of color remover that I had used the day before in the pot. So it was a little yellowy. So in my brain, I don't know what I was thinking. I thought the color remover was in there. Anyway, I took my whole piece that had to be submerged into the pot, put it into the pot, and I'm looking. I mean, you can tell immediately that it's working, and it's just doing nothing. And I was like, oh crap. And then I realized I had not put in my package of RIT color remover. So the shirt had saturated up with water, so it did not discharge nearly as much. I mean, it discharged. Where it discharged, it went to its normal, very light tan, but it just didn't get in the grooves really well, and I wanted to show you the difference. So the first shirt I'm going to show you was done, I'm going to move this just so I can show you a little easier. The first shirt was, they're tied very similarly. First shirt was done dry. I tie dry, and I discharge dry, and I dye dry. So a lot of people don't like to tie dry, and I know why. But for me, I hate the wait time, and I want everything bone dry. So I just make it work for me. Anyway, this shirt was done perfect normal way. Discharged great because I hadn't saturated with water and it was bone dry. This shirt was the one that got put in the pot without the color remover at first, so it soaked up a bunch of water first. Still, super cool look. I am not sad about it at all, but you can see the difference on what that water will do if it's already in the fabric as far as dramatically reducing the saturation of the solution. So A56, I don't remember when I started, 51 maybe? I don't know. I've been yakking too much. That's my problem in life, is I yak too much. And please, I do not do videos. This is not my thing. I don't want to be a TikTok star. That stuff is just nonsense. But I do like to give information. I've seen so many people asking how, and I've had a lot of people ask me how I keep my black parts black. So I'm gonna check and see. This is looking really great. I think I'm gonna leave it in for just a couple of minutes more because I did move it down, and I can tell that that part's not quite where I want it to be yet. So clip it back on. I only have 2 of these clips, which sucks, so if I have something, I'll either use those tall vases or I will just hold it in there. Because it goes fast, it really does. It's pretty magical, in my opinion. I usually do these in big batches. Today, when I'm experimenting though, I do smaller batches and just make half gallons or whatever. Just depends on my mood and what's going on. This particular tie that I have on this shirt is an experiment. And the first video I did this morning that did not work because my cat decided, for whatever reason. It worked okay but I quickly just went up and ran and tied another one in the same pattern and made the adjustments that I wanted to see different. Anyway, it worked out okay, but it wasn't exactly what I was looking for. So I just quickly did another shirt. This is it. Hopefully those adjustments have accounted for the errors that I made in the first one, or the changes I wanted to make. And I'm also doing this, I didn't do it quite up to the sinew on the other shirt, and so that's why I was really trying to get it right at the sinew line this time, because I wanted more up in the black part, seeping through. Okay, I'm going to take this out. I think it's good. Get it, move this over so I don't make a mess. Dip it in there. When I'm outside, I have just big 5-gallon buckets full of cold water. If I'm doing a huge batch, 10, 20 shirts, I will have several gallons and just sew 2 or 3 in each one as I go along. And I do untie when I'm rinsing this out. I know a lot of people keep their stuff tied, and I used to do that all the time. I never untied stuff. But because I want it bone dry and I cannot stand waiting until it dries out, a couple, 3 weeks ago, I decided to try untying them and retying them and dyeing them, and it worked great. I know it's an extra tie, but I tie pretty quickly and it's easy to do. I have a little station up in my room, so it just works for me. You do what works for you. I thoroughly 100 billion% believe that you have to find your own way, your own groove, glean from other people's information and knowledge, experiment, trial, error, the whole thing. It's just incredible to me the amount of information there is out there. Oh, can I also just please, okay, I have never dared go on YouTube and looked at reverse dye videos, but I did yesterday. I spent some time looking at those crazy videos. These people are, it's so sad to me. I understand now why people come into the Facebook groups just completely wrong about the information they have, and it's not their fault. They're going on YouTube and naively believing everything that they read. So I'm going to turn my stove off. This information, and I'm not saying in any way, shape, or form that I am a professional in any way, but or know what I'm doing or mastered this. I feel like I am learning always. I hope to always be learning. So yeah, it's sad. It was really sad. So hopefully this video, my experience, and it's just mine, find your own groove, you do you. In my experience, I hope that this helps. At least gives you some tips or some ideas that will spark creativity. That's what I'm all about. Use your imagination. Find inspiration everywhere. Everywhere. It's out there. Anyway, I will post this in the Reverse Universe Facebook group. I will put a picture in the comments of this finished. Hopefully it's not horrible. If it is, good, bad, or ugly, I'll post it. Anyway, have a great day.